Hello everybody, this is /@MrSmilesALot with yet another Let's Talk Media LLC audio podcast. This is actually my second one that I'm making in the same day. First one was with my wife. This one's with my buddy Brandon Kacar @AviationExpert314. Is that right? Yeah. So I haven't talked to this guy in a while. I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, we're both silly. We're both fun. So today we're just going to basically just talk about whatever. We don't really have anything planned. You know, my wife and I, we talked about our favorite TV shows and went into details about some of our favorite shows and things like that. But tonight we're just going to kind of shoot the breeze and talk about life and stuff like that. So how has things been around here, and how have things, I guess, been with GCI?
Here, I guess you could say things have been improving.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some new people coming in, and a lot of our old, I don't want to make it seem offensive to the new guys.
Yeah.
A lot of the good guys have left, so there's new guys coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But they're good too.
Yeah.
I know them a long time. Besides that, with GCI, things have, some things, technically a lot of things have changed out there too. Where should I start with them?
We just became a supervisor.
Yeah, let's just say, a lot of things have changed out there. Yeah, I became a field supervisor out there for a place called, a neighborhood, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Or not even a neighborhood, like a little town of its own called Newtown at St. Charles. I'm the field supervisor out there. We got two other guys, at least two guys out there. We're trying to get a third guy on there. I'm trying to get it to where we can maybe get like 4 to 5 guys out there because it's that big of a neighborhood, yes. Like this neighborhood is literally its own town, has their own shopping strip, church, dance studio, volleyball courts, swimming pool, you name it.
Wow.
Like it's a town of its own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
even its own post office.
Whoever runs the LinkedIn page for your all's company, they do a good job of keeping you updated on stuff. I mean, it's very professional. Like, but boy, does it seem dangerous. Like whenever I see something really bad happening, I'm like, I wonder if Brandon was involved in that, and I'm really hoping that you aren't.
So with that, the stuff you're seeing on LinkedIn, 9 times out of 10, all that activity is in the city.
Yeah. That's
where you're probably seeing all that, because that's where all the big things happen for us. Whereas we don't get much out in St. Charles community.
No.
Which, don't get me wrong, I miss the action. Oh, nice, perfect.
Yeah,
now I can hear myself talk.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I've seen action, adult action. Do I like it? No, because it's risky. But I do miss it. Yes, it keeps me busy. It makes the time go by fast and fly by faster. Do I like it out of Newtown? Both yes and no. Yes, because I'm not at a position of risking myself, but still, I'm out there to better serve, protect.
Yeah. But
at the same time, there's no action out there. And I don't like that because it makes the time go by so much slower. It makes the hours go slower. The shift. Another thing is that communication out there too is weak. Communication is a lack out there. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get something worked out where we can have better communication with our headquarters dispatch in the city, because technically we're headquartered in the city. That's where our dispatch is at, and that's where we keep most of our vehicles and gear and all that stuff. Have you heard of the city's finest?
Yeah, you told me about them.
Because they're headquartered in the city. That's where their headquarters are, their vehicles, operations, and everything like that. That were basically the same thing.
I think you sent me pictures of it, and it looked like a real police car. Even though security was black and white, I was like, that's kind of cool.
So technically, the city's finest is a secondary police-approved agency through St. Louis City Police. It's more. How do I explain? Have you heard of North County Police Cooperative?
No.
Okay. I look at it like this sometimes. So in North County, you know how North County can be like the city's very dangerous. A lot of shootings and robberies, carjackings, homicides, and all of that stuff, right? Honestly, it's no different than the city, to be honest. So there's what's a way to explain it? There's this agency in North County called North County Police Cooperative. Okay. I look at them as the pros and cons of city's finest. I look at them as equally the same operations, because North County Police Cooperative is basically it's not like a municipality department where it's contracted through a city or a township, okay, where they have like a court or like a mayor or something like that. You know what I mean? The North County Police Cooperative is more like a departmental. It's like a supportive contracting departmental for multiple North County police municipalities.
Gotcha.
If that makes better sense.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
They are a police agency, but they don't have like an actual town of its own. Hence the name of it, North County Police Cooperative.
So, and tell me if this makes sense. So, when I used to do armed security for Deerbergs, you'd saying that's like, okay, that's why, since we're a third party and we didn't work directly for Deerbergs, that's why we had as much authority and jurisdiction as the police
Look at it like that, yes.
As the police did. Because if we worked directly for Deerbergs, we probably wouldn't have any authority.
Correct. Look at that like that. Because County Police Cooperative, that's basically how they operate.
Because nowadays it's really sad, if you notice, literally they just give a guy the T-shirt that says security, and all they're supposed to do is stand there.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those videos where people are literally going to Gucci stores and just stealing everything, and the guy's just like, I can't.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not gonna get hurt over. Here's the thing, like, I know how to fight, I know how to take care of myself, but and I'm not saying it's right for them to steal, but in a weird way, I get it, because I mean, I used to do armed security. It's not fun. It's not fun.
Have you heard of this? Have you heard this tactic called verbal judo?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't always work. You know,
Yeah,
you have to.
9 times out of 10, it won't work unless you can actually make it work.
So the best way to do it, especially where I work now,
because look at these days, most law enforcement agencies are trained and certified in the tactic of verbal judo, and 9 times out of 10, when they come across, especially when they come across scenarios, life-threatening, life-risking scenarios, of course they're not, like let's say they're coming across an armed robbery, okay? Are they gonna sit there and just talk them out of it? No, there's a chance they're gonna draw their guns on, but guess what? There's still a chance that they'll talk them out of it with their guns drawn, right? But 9 times out of 10, they're trained nowadays to try to use a tactic of verbal judo to diffuse the situation.
Yeah, de-escalation is definitely the number one thing you want to do. So whenever I'm, at work, whatever, and somebody wants to do something that isn't right or I disagree with, well, speaking of which, you have to, I'm not saying, but you know what I'm talking about when I say this, you have to agree with them to make them think that they're right, but you also have to show them that they're wrong.
Right.
So, example, when we had this camp thing going on, there were people who were parking on a no parking lane, the yellow line.
Yeah.
Obviously,
that's a no parking.
Yeah. Because what if we need EMTs, police, firemen, rescue, whatever. And so what people would do is that there's no parking, but they would still not only just park their car there, they would get out of their car. Now, here's the thing. If they're in their car, not a big deal. But if they're out of their car, big deal. Because what if we need them to come in and then now I'm literally having to run around and find this person, tell them, hey, you need to move your car because we have firefighters coming in because, somebody got hurt or blah, blah, whatever, So whenever I do find that person, instead of getting mad and being like, what are you doing? You have to be nice and you have to be kind. Plus, you want to make yourself look good and who you work for look good. So I'm like, hey, I always say something like, hey, look, I need trouble. I'm just letting you know, the city of Ladue doesn't want you to, park out there, for emergencies in case we need EMT, like literally what I said to you, EMT, fire, rescue, whatever. So could you please move your car? I'd really appreciate it.
And that's the thing too at the hospital. A lot of people
You had to be
that.
like that.
A lot of people do that, especially in the EMS drop-off bay, the emergency room. When they're dropping off patients or when they're coming in for an emergency. I get it 100%. It's an emergency. You want to get seen, but there are certain circumstances that have to be done. You can't park here because this is for EMS drop-off. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. You're let's say I get like I just have so many stories on that. I don't even know which one to go off with. It just happens. It happens all the time. There's a reason they have. There's a reason there's a separation at the ER for EMS and then for regular patient drop off. But 9 times out of 10 they will go to the EMS bay because they think they have immediate access right through the ER through there because they don't have to go to the counter there, the waiting room and all that.
Check in.
Yeah.
That's it's not like in the movies all the time where you run in and you're like, I need, doctor, they're bleeding to death. It's not like, it can be like that, but it's not,
It depends on the severe. Severity.
Yeah, like when I got my hand cut open, that was pretty severe. Like we did come rushing into the counter, and I was all like wobbly, messed up because I lost so much blood. Like it was,
Honestly, it depends on the severity. Like me, when I had the food poisoning 2 years back, I had food poisoning, right? And I had to go to the ER because I was on the verge of death. Literally, my face, I was pale white. I was sweating like crazy. My heart was racing more than 100 beats per minute.
Were you throwing up a lot?
A lot, like every 5 minutes.
Oh.
My chest kept enclosing on. I was on the verge.
Like you mean when you're breathing, like you can feel your lungs getting tighter?
Yeah, like I was pale white. As a ghost.
Yeah.
And when I got to the ER, they saw what I looked like, and that's a huge severity. They had to get me to a back room immediately.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do they do to fix you?
They
hooked up an IV to you, obviously.
Yeah, they hooked up a couple IVs, took some heart rates from me. I think I took some medication. I can't remember what kind of medication I took. Something for the stomach, though.
Probably something with antibiotics in it.
Because I had like some infection or something like that, like a big infection going on. So I had to take some special pill, or not a pill, but special medication they put in the IV.
Yeah. Well, it's no miracle cure, but the reason I personally like the yogurt Activia is because the antibiotics and it really helps your stomach alignment. I think, like if my stomach's ever upset, whenever if I'm feeling like a little whatever, if I have like 2 Activias, like after I'm done, like give me like 10 to like 30 minutes, I'm like, I literally feel better. It's like if you ever have one of those greens drinks where you it's like all those
I know,
like greens, vegetables mixed up in the water, like how it makes you feel better.
Yeah, my wife usually makes those when she's feeling sick.
It's pretty much like that, except it's like an Activia. I bet it'd be really good to drink one of those greens drinks and then have Activia at the same time.
Well, they say green. What's the name for it? My wife told me once.
It's like
what the purpose was for it. I can't remember.
There's AG1. There's that new one that just came out, and then there's
something about green that
it's good with digestion, good for your stomach,
something like that,
good for your vascular. I think it helps with your blood flow.
Yeah.
Apparently it helps with aging. Like, well, they say when you do this green, I need to get back on that. I really do.
Yeah.
It's not like so. I had the Opti Red, which is good because it's like all the vegetables and meats, and it helps your blood flow. But the problem is, it's like it is part of the supplement. So like if you do that, like and you're not working out, it'll feel like an overload. But that's why I like the greens though, because like you can do the greens whenever. It's just
Yeah.
I need to get back on the greens though for real. It would be really good for my stomach and my stomach health. And honestly, after a while, like you get used to the taste. They're actually not too bad.
Another thing that can come into effect with that is working out and lack of diet and workout.
Yeah, like the way I move my body around and stuff like that for like, especially for this 8 hours a day, and then on top of like working out a lot more than I used to. I think it'd probably be good for me because I think it's really good for your joints too. Isn't that? I think I said that already.
I'm going to start working out every night or something like that because see my new condo I have, the new condo I moved into has an all-night 24-hour access fitness center to it.
Oh.
So that gives me 24-hour access to it. So I'm going to take really good advantage of it. My wife's been taking good advantage of it. So I'm going to start doing the same thing too.
Is that a pool attached or anything?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
It's got a lot of awesome amenities to it.
A hot tub? You think so?
I think so, because there's a sign outside that says that the pool and spa should be accompanied by adults.
Wow.
I would imagine that's...
Spa usually means hot tub. That's awesome.
Unless I'm thinking of something different.
Is the pool pretty nice? Is it kind of big?
Yeah, it's huge.
Cool.
It's not big, but it's not small, but it's
I know what you're saying.
It's a size pool.
That's awesome.
It's heated too.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. I might have to bring my wife and my kid over.
Yeah, there's also the space on the pool side. It's oh my god, dude! I'm telling you, it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a dream. Like
it's cool.
Like it's got open. You can have a party there. Let's say that.
Oh yeah.
You can have a party there, and it's got like an inside concierge stand and like a sitting area where you can just hang out and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then
That's fun.
the lobby, like the main lobby where you walk in, dude. Oh my god, it's like a hotel.
Yeah.
It's got TVs, like flat screen, these kinds of TVs. It's got 2 flat screen TVs on both sides of the building. You can watch movies or whatever all night, 24-hour access. It's got like these booths on the side of the wall, like where you could like hang out with friends.
Has there ever been a time where you were watching TV down there and you actually fell asleep and your wife had to like come down and get you off the couch because you're like, hey, I'm pretty sure there has been, because when you fall asleep hard. When you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
I mean, I swear, I'm like, hey, like those times you spend the night at my house. I mean, it didn't help that we had a few drinks. What I'm saying is that when you're out, dude, like you are out unless you wake up. I'm like, God, dude, come on, like.
No, that hasn't happened, but I have managed to watch TV down there though. I mean, why would I have to spend money on internet cable, even internet, when our unit is right there next to the lobby, and we could just easily connect to the main internet source.
The Wi-Fi or the router Wi-Fi, whatever you call it. Yeah, that's awesome.
So we have it pretty easy there. We can watch TV there or whatever, go work out, whatever. It's really easy.
A while ago.
They even got their own their own dog spot too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where you can get dogs, a shower, room, and whatnot.
Oh, a while ago I was hanging out with my buddy Tom and Andy, and after I was leaving Andy's house on my way back home, I ended up passing by your old apartment. The one where it had the red sign on the outside or whatever. The little side apartment that you had.
Oh, the one down here in the city.
Yeah, the one that's kind of around Ted Drew's or whatever.
Is it the one where we were effing around that night with our security stuff?
Yeah, I drove by there and I was like, oh god, those nights. That was fun.
I didn't care for those places.
Yeah, they seem kind of ratty.
They were, and then the maintenance was not on top of their game, and then stuff just kept breaking down, and oh my god, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, the rent was okay, but oh my god, the amenities itself, no.
It's definitely a single man spot.
Yeah.
You know, I would, no offense, I mean, unless you don't care. I mean, you know, so you're like, I don't know if I want to bring a girl back there. I mean, no offense, but yeah, it was kind of, there's certain places where you probably don't want to bring a girl back until you up your game a little bit, but unless you find the right girl who doesn't care, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, like, but then again, who am I to judge? I mean, some people, you know, think in the flow that they can only afford, because I mean, it is really hard these days. It's so hard to get a job, find a career, but you know, as much as I love my job, my career right now, I mean, I don't feel like my journey ends where I am. I mean, if I find a better job, that's the same benefits, if not better, same hours, if not better hours, and not better pay, I don't see why I wouldn't put my 2 weeks in. Now, am I happy where I'm? Yeah, I mean, I'm in no rush to leave, but if something better comes along, I'm out.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I'm just being honest with you, especially if it's better for my family. No,
like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I kind of, well, yeah. I'm just gonna jump straight to it. I effed up with the paw hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that doesn't mean I effed up with this one here.
Yeah.
But I effed up with the paw. I think it was. I mean, honestly, I think it was perfect. The drive distance was perfect. The hours were doable. The pay was great. Benefits were awesome. I mean, not much happened on the night shift either. I just feel. I feel like I would do anything to try to take that one back. I really would.
I mean, from what you told me, it doesn't really. I mean, you can blame yourself, but it just seems like life was getting, you know, in the way. You were trying to figure out like things here with your, you know, family.
Yeah.
You not to get too personal. I don't want to have to put your stories up, but you're trying to figure things out, you know, with your family. You know, trying to fix things with people, your relationships.
Yeah.
You and I were still at the time dealing with those people, talking all those rumors and saying this and that, trying to ruin our reputation, make us look bad. Yeah. And you know, we had to defend ourselves there. I was heavily involved in that.
Speaking of that, I just had that in me not too long ago here.
Yeah, he broke in. Yeah, we're not gonna put his name out there because we're not gonna be those people. But yeah, that was not good.
Yeah.
What else were you dealing with? Like, so the family thing, those people there.
Yeah.
And you know, it just seemed like you were having a very difficult time in your life. I mean, we all do. So, I mean,
I just didn't think it through. The stuff that I just didn't think things through all the way. When stuff happens.
Yeah, shit happens. Stuff's really. I'm tired, man. Stuff happens. You're look. Here's the thing. I'm not perfect. All right. I try to be as nice and loving as I can, but you know, I have my flaws.
Yeah.
I've got my sins. I do things that maybe like, I don't know, but here's the thing, and I'm not trying to say that we're better than anyone else or we're not or anything like that, but you and I need to feel good for the fact that we have a good heart, that we're loving people, that we actually want to put ourselves on the line of danger and protect others. I don't know why we do security. We're insane. Mm-hmm. We both have issues. It's not an easy job by any means, whether it's school security, armed or unarmed. It's not. You got to have some sort of insanity to do it. I don't know why, but it's, you know, I do it because I want to. But you know, like I said, that doesn't mean that's going to be my end in life. I mean, I would love to still take my marketing and all this stuff that I do social media wise, you know, make that into a huge thing. There's a good chance I might do a rental space at where I do security right now, and I'm not going to say the name, but that's to be professional and protect them, and protect my reputation there. Even though I think we've let it slip a few times already, but whatever. And I know when I put it on social media, I was happy that I got the job, and I said where I got the job, and I didn't tag the address or anything. You know what I mean? But but what I'm saying is that like I said, I would love. So anyway, I might do a rental space there, or if not, one day I might open my own spot. And, it would be kind of awkward if I ended in a rental space and not, if I quit, but then still rent out rental space for no reason. Plus, I wouldn't give my employees discount, which is 50% off, which is a lot. Mm-hmm. So anyway, but what I'm saying is that, what I'm getting at is that even knowing that you and I have our flaws, even knowing that I get angry, I know you get angry. You know that you and I don't understand why people are jerks, why they're bullies, why they're mean, why they treat us, people who would try to be nice and do good, the way that, well, I'm starting to get really tired. I'm losing my mind here. What I'm saying is that, again, we're not perfect. We're not better than anyone else, but you and I can at least take pride in the fact that we have a good heart, because not everyone does.
Right.
It's a mean and nasty world out there, and you gotta be nice to people. You gotta give them a smile. You gotta treat them with respect, even if you don't agree with their lifestyle, even if you don't agree with their religion, even if you don't agree with how they dress, how they look, with their. I mean, not to be mean by saying this, I don't care what someone's sexuality is, but if you, for being real here, if you don't agree with their sexuality, who cares? Mm-hmm. What you should care about is their heart. Yeah. Care about who they are as a person.
And I feel like that should be a big requirement, especially for a setting in a school and a hospital. In the hospital, especially in security or something like that. Mm-hmm. Because there are days, say you'll have a bully, and say there are days I'm going to have a mentally ill psych patient, right? Mm-hmm. How are we going to go on them? That we got to think how we will handle those situations.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trained for that kind of stuff, yes, but
until it happens. Whenever we had the one event, like I told you, that camp thing going on, this one kid, he ate a brownie with egg in it. He's allergic to egg, and he had a reaction right away. I wasn't there, but immediately they had an EpiPen, thank God. And they got him with the EpiPen, but I was running down the hill, I was flagging down the EMT ambulance, and I was going like this. I was running back to the kid to make sure he was okay. He's coming down the hallway like this, no problem, like la da 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 da. He no issue, whatever. But he still went to the hospital or whatever. The point of what I'm saying is that even knowing that it's a team effort, we were all heroes that day. The person who let us know on the radio, hey, call 911. They were a hero, right? My supervisor and I, we were heroes that day because of the fact that we responded to the call that quickly. I was a hero because I ran down and I directed them. And then we were all heroes, everybody there involved, because we went to go see if that was a kid was okay until they took him out to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's what I'm saying, though. I can say that with pride, but I don't want to sound like I'm bragging about it. Oh, look at me! I'm a superhero, Superman. No. What I mean by hero, as in, like I said, somebody with a good heart who cares enough to take care of someone like that. And the thing is that I'm not medically trained, but I am CPR certified. So in a way, I'm halfway medically trained. So what I'm saying is that on that. I know with EpiPens and stuff like that, if it would have been a situation like that, I would have been known to prepare to, you know what I mean? Yeah. So what I'm saying is that it's just, when I was willing to do whatever. even knowing that the thing is that I didn't know this kid, I didn't know this person, I didn't know their family, but again, I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to say, "Oh, look at me," because I did something amazing. But the fact that I was willing to run towards not danger necessarily, but whatever the situation was, knowing that I'm a person that's like that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say I'm, again, better than anyone else. I'm not trying to say, "Oh, hey, like, I'm not a hateful person, so I'm better than you. Oh, look at me." No, I'm not trying to be that guy. But what I'm saying is that you can take pride in certain aspects about you, but just don't let it get to your head, because then you might end up being like those people that you and I don't like.
Yeah.
That's like, like a...
That's the thing, too. And that's the biggest thing about a hospital setting, too, and security. Because anytime security gets called to the behavioral department for like an aggressive, combative patient, they see security as bullies. You just say that. No, we're not bullying them. We're just simply trying to help them. It looks like we're bullying them, but we're not, because we're simply just trying to help them. We get called there for a reason, because the nurses can't do their job when the patients are being aggressive towards them, whether it's physical or not. It could be verbally, it could be a verbal. I don't even think there's such thing as a verbal assault, but still, verbal non-compliance. That's what I should say. Verbal non-compliance. You can still call security. We can still look like bullies, but we don't want to, though.
Right.
Versus being physically combative, it just gets worsened by that.
Yeah.
Because there's been officers. I've seen officers. I'm not going to point out names or anything like
you want
that.
to be professional.
But I have seen officers, go to an extent of level where it's out of departmental guidelines how they handle situations.
In policy, right?
And we don't want to,
look bad.
That's why we have certain amount of training to deal with certain situations. That feels on the outside of the hospital. For example, if it was something where I need to use a baton or something, by all means, that's in the department guideline. I can do that.
I wish that we had at least 3 or 4 officers, at least 3, instead of just my supervisor, and I have to watch over the whole campus, because he does a lot of things from his office, and I'm the only one on the outside, or doing hallway checks or door checks. If there were 3 of us, it'd be so convenient, because he could be in his office, I could be at one end of the campus, and then the officer could be at the end of the campus. And the only thing we would have to do occasionally is just switch sides.
Right.
And my boss could stay in his office the whole time and not have to worry about a thing.
Right.
And not have to do as much as I'm, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I would be so, I wish they put the funding out for a 3rd day officer. I really do.
Plus, because
Gosh.
For us, we usually work around 4 officers at least, 4 plus supervisor.
Yeah.
That's how we usually work around.
Yeah, like literally that would be such a huge help. Like, but unfortunately, whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I was just...
All right, new subject.
Yeah.
I got some good things to point out for a new subject.
Yeah.
I've got a couple assessments coming up with a couple police departments. I do PD.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting upon all of that PD. Okay. City of Florissant. I'm waiting to hear back from City of Florissant. Who else? Who else did I hear back from? I heard back from someone else. You know what? I didn't. I haven't talked to them, but I'm thinking about it. About putting in for the City of St. Charles.
Well,
because that's where we currently are right now, where I do my stuff at, and I have some of a connection with them. But again, that drive and the way how things work in St. Charles, vice versa, St. Louis, it's.
So you're talking about you trying to be a possible police officer, or are you talking about like maybe being security for a police department? You know what I mean? Because don't some police departments have security?
No, you know what? Yeah, St. Louis County PD does for the courts.
That's what I thought.
But I think they're through the sheriff's department, though.
think you're right.
Like special court security.
Something like that, yeah. So,
No, yeah, it's high level security though. It is, yes. It's not like your ordinary security where you just like walk a store or do what I'm doing right now or whatever. No.
so that's what you'd be
More
going.
high level.
So that's what you'd be trying to go for.
Yeah, that would be within the sheriff's department. Yes.
Because the thing is that, like, people have asked me before, would you ever be a police officer? I said no, thank you. Because the thing is that I know what I'm good at, and you already know.
In other words, it's not actual security. It's a sheriff's deputy.
Yeah,
Sheriff's deputy.
yeah.
Okay, but it is security though. And what's the way to explain this? It's like a high level. A high level amount of security.
Yeah.
There's technically 2 divisions within the sheriff's department. Okay, there's what's called a bailiff. And then there's what's called a civil deputy. The bailiff is basically the courtroom security, okay? And then the civil deputy is like a non-sworn sheriff's deputy. They're armed, but they don't wear like a full-fledged uniform or drive a full marked vehicle. Or, they're armed. They wear the carrier and stuff like that, right? With deputy on it, but they just serve like court documents and subpoenas and evictions and stuff like that.
Right.
Businesses, residences, homes, and stuff like that.
Okay, wow.
On a daily basis. Whereas the bailiff, they're basically unarmed security for the courtrooms, but they're still under the sheriff's department though.
Well, wow, I'm surprised that for so long as we've been talking, my phone battery's still at 99%.
Huh.
These new iPhones, I'm telling you, man. Anyway, that's cool though. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying is like, just like you were saying, like people have asked me, would I ever want to be a police officer? I said no. Let's say why? I said because I know what I'm good at. I'm good at security. And I don't know if I want to be a police officer because you already know my stories. You've heard a lot of my war stories of what I've dealt with when I was doing armed security. Even though this is for a grocery store, dude, I felt like a cop. Oh my goodness. Drug overdoses, stealings, almost getting into fist fights, people defecating in their pants, people's genitalia being out of their pants.
Well, that's what's like in the hospital.
Yeah.
Why do you think police have high amount of respect for hospital security?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that like
the authority we have, the training they have, and all that. Why do you think they provided that police academy style training that I went to?
So that alone, everything I dealt with in that year and a half, close to 2 years, let me know that if I'm gonna do anything that's police-like work, if I'm gonna go back armed again, it would just be security. I'm not saying I can't do it, but I don't.
You know what? I got a better example.
Because I wouldn't want to take any of that, bring that home to my family, like mentally,
Or like, how about when I was in the city, doing GCI?
Yeah. Oh man.
I was dealing with all that stuff going on out there: the robbery, freaking carjacking, car theft, vehicle break-ins, business residential break-ins, trespassing, freaking domestics.
I see it on the LinkedIn. Dude, like last night there was a break-in around River City Casino and GC. I'm like, what? Or there was a shooting around Lake St. Louis, or not Lake St. Louis, Mississippi River around the Arch. GCI got involved. And I'm like, geez.
There was a robbery in Central West End.
Yeah.
GCI, responded to it. And who happened to be that responding unit?
You guys.
Yeah.
And you don't get benefits, do you? No. You see, that's the thing. So the pay is good, but the benefits would be even more worth it.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why I don't mind.
There is now benefit-wise like health, dental,
vision,
mental benefits.
Right, mental benefit. Right.
Anyway, so health, dental, vision, medical. What's the 401k, life, and whatnot? Those type of benefits, no. But there are some benefits they provide. There's this.
Okay.
What is this one called? What's the way to explain it? some kind of thing where I guess you put in a lot of work effort or something like that, and I guess oh my god, I can't think of a way to
accommodation.
No, like competitive prizes or something like that. I can't think of a way. I can't think of a better way to explain
It's not the word competitive wages, is it? No,
prizes like you win prizes for gift cards or tickets, whatever you name it. I can't think of a better way to explain
No, what you're saying. No, that's gonna be interesting.
I don't really see how that's been. I mean, I guess I can see how it's been a benefit, but at the same time, though.
Here's one of the biggest issues I see in security, especially. Here's the thing. I didn't mind doing armed security, being known those benefits, because, let's be honest, it was dangerous, but it really wasn't that dangerous.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with most of the armed security, though. Whenever you're in a high-end area, like a building over, like, late at night, you have a better chance of getting hurt there because there's crazy.
Look where I was doing. When I was at.
They broke in here.
Yeah.
I mean, in the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. So can you imagine all those times I did overnight security out there?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, like, armed or not, the problem is that they'll pay us high wages or a good salary, but the problem is that half the time there aren't benefits, and that literally means that we're risking our lives. I mean, back in the day, I was risking my life. Like, no offense right now, you're risking your life without. And here's the thing. But the thing is that you're crazy enough to do it because you love it.
Yeah.
I'm crazy enough to do it because I love it. But what I'm saying is that I have benefits. So if I get shot, hurt, stabbed, I mean, it would suck, but I'll have something to cover that.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't mind my job right now. You know what I'm saying? But, like, if I ever go back to armed security or like as a security where it's more police-like, I'm going to make sure there's benefits.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, honestly, because it's not worth.
Like, see, can you imagine, like, okay, so, like at the hospital, yes, there are benefits.
Yeah, there were.
I should have kept it. Can you imagine if something was to happen to me on one of those shifts? Guess what? I'm covered 100%. And hell, guess what? I'm already in the hospital.
You're like, oh, I just got, like, let's say, you got into a big fist fight.
All right, how about this? Here's a good example. Okay, here's a good example. Most of our hotspots, our hotspot is the ER. Okay, especially the behavioral section of the ER.
Told me about that. Yeah.
Because the ER is divided into like 2 to 3 different spots, right? There's a regular ER where regular patients are like where they're just ill in general, okay, food poisoning or sick, whatever, you name it. And then there's the children's hospital, of course, the children's ER, obviously, right? And then there's a behavioral ER, okay, all in one hallway, but divided into 3 sections, okay. Our hotspot is the behavioral ER, okay. Can you imagine? Like, look at it this way: we're assisting the nurses on. Actually, I got a good example. One night, I was in the ER. I was assigned to the ER. I'll say that.
Yeah.
We had downtime. We had an emergency, not even an emergency patient. I don't even know why this person was brought in to begin with. My PD. She had a big old luggage with her, right? A big old luggage, right? And I figured she was just probably hitchhiking or something, right? And luckily, I had 2 other officers with me too, or I was with 2 other officers, okay? Because we all hang out in the ER because that's where the action happens. They want security presence in the ER a lot. So PD comes in through the EMS bay with this lady, a big old luggage, right? And she seems normal. She seems perfectly fine. So I don't see the reasoning for her to be brought to the hospital for it, right? And I think the cop was power tripping because he had that kind of attitude and tone on him. He had that. I knew he was power tripping because I just saw so many signs on him.
Yeah.
So the lady was confused too. She was brought to the hospital. Okay, so we had no clue what was going on, right? But she had big old luggage, so we had to search it, right? Because who knows if there was like a gun in there or a weapon or a bomb or whatever. You never know. So we're checking it, right? I'm searching her luggage. The other officers are checking her purse and all that. And the security officer, not the police officer. The police officer is standing with her, right? and she's not in handcuffs or nothing too. So she's just moving around freely, right?
No.
So I'm searching the luggage. I find a freaking, I can't remember if it was like a revolver type or if it was a handgun style. Not a magazine. I think it was a speed loader actually for a revolver.
Ooh.
With loaded ammunition, right?
No.
But there's no locate of a firearm. They didn't locate any firearm.
Just a magazine?
Yeah. Just a magazine.
That's scary.
Yeah. And then I found, I think, 2 pocket knives underneath the clothing or something like that, right? And we questioned her, where the ammo, what's the ammunition for? And then she was like, I don't know, she seemed surprised about it too. Like, she didn't know there was something. But the cop, though, come on, man. You didn't have to be like that towards her, though.
I know what you're saying.
He was like power tripping. He's like, oh, so you didn't tell me you had a gun on her or on you? And then in the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, first of all, you didn't know you were bringing her to the hospital? You know, you didn't pat her down or search her or something?
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to say that to him, but I didn't want to be an asshole, you know, at the same time.
He just wanted to be authoritative and be intimidating.
Because you gotta think of it like this too. Once you step foot on that hospital, you're under our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
You have to follow our policy and procedures, right? And then, speaking of that, I have another story to tell you about that too.
He's trying to strong arm anxious out there. There you go.
Yeah. I have another story to tell you about the hospital too, about regarding our policy and procedures involving law enforcement too. So regardless, whether you're a cop or a city police sheriff, even a highway patrolman, once you step foot into a hospital, you're under our jurisdiction. You follow our procedures. That's just like us outside of the hospital setting, off our property. We follow your guys' municipality ordinances and laws, right? So that's how things work. Like, remember the time I told you about at Deerbergs? Remember, I had an off-duty police officer shopping there, and he tried to get in my face and try to stir some problems with me.
Oh,
yeah. And take note, I was the only one on there working on the busy Saturday night when we had a major snowstorm hit too, right?
Yeah.
And he got in my face all.
Yeah.
You know.
Was it a Brentwood police officer?
No. I think I was on force. It was an airport cop. I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, remember that. Remember, he got in my face. He's like, well, you got a problem with me? I'm like, I'm sorry? You have a problem with me while you're staring me down? Okay, have a good night. I don't have time for this. Have a good night, sir. Oh, I'm going to take your badge from you. I'm going to make sure I'm going to strip your authority off of you and stuff. I'm like, have a good night, sir. Go back to the airport, where you belong and all that, right?
Don't know,
So I basically told him to F off without actually saying F off.
Of
but
course.
I will have that attitude if I have to in a professional demeanor.
Yeah.
Right? So that basically happened at the hospital too. So I wanted to say that to that cop, but at the same time, I kept my cool about it too.
Mm-hmm.
So when he went up to the nurse's desk, with she's not even a patient. She wasn't even in police custody because she was in handcuffs. So she was just a subject at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So with the subject, the nurse told him, the nurse in charge, actually, I should say, the supervisor nurse, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was on the overnight shift. There's no actual manager in charge of the nursing staff. It's a nurse in charge or a house supervisor.
Okay.
So she told them, well, sir, we have policies we have to follow by. If she's not medically, in under condition, she has to be seen in the waiting room. The officer got so mad that he's like, oh, well, every time you bring someone in, you guys take them right away. So you're gonna use your badge as authority to freaking, no, it doesn't work like that. No. We have procedures and policies for a reason you have to follow by. Because I see other police officers in the main room with other fit patients. Patients. That's what I'm trying to get at. Fit patients or fit prisoners, I should say, where they're trying to get medically fit, whether they have a condition or not, right? I see other law enforcement agencies sitting in the waiting room with them, not giving any issues. Heck, I'll walk up to them and ask them, "You guys all good? Do you need our assistance or anything?" "No, we're good, man. Thanks."
Yeah.
But this one, no, he wanted to power trip on us. But he did not get away with it though. He did not get away with it whatsoever.
What happened?
No, he was just trying to power trip on us over security. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. And then another incident we had. So Anytime a patient gets brought into the trauma department, whether it's by helicopter or ambulance.
Oh yeah.
And you know what I mean by trauma department.
Yeah.
You're on the verge of death. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not making a joke about it. Okay. But I'm,
No, I know. It's called trauma for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not.
So check this out, right? There are certain trauma levels in a certain region. Okay. There's a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3. Level 1 is the highest. That's the most severe, right? So one night we had 2 trauma level 1 patients from the same location of a crime, right?
Right.
Whom were not affiliated with each other, but somehow brought to the same trauma unit at the same time too. So that was kind of edgy on that too.
Yeah, that's weird.
So that kind of struck us.
Yeah.
So anytime we get a trauma patient, we have to do what's called a VOV. It's called a victim of violence, okay? And we basically have to do our own investigation too, basically a criminal investigation on what happened, right?
Right, obviously.
We have to interview the victim, ask them why were they brought here, or who was involved, who's their suspect, their offender, their attacker, basically everything,
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. So we have to do our own investigation too, right?
Okay.
And take note, this happened in Florissant. So Florissant, because obviously in Bridgeton is right outside of Florissant, so they're gonna come there, right? So Florissant PD follows EMS there, so they could do whatever, finish their interview, whatever, right? And take note, the hospitals in Bridgeton jurisdiction. When you're out of your jurisdiction, you really have no authority.
Obviously.
So I'm so glad the supervisor was on that night too, and I'm so glad the supervisor was with me that night too, because he was not taking crap from them 100%.
Sorry.
So Florissant PD did their interview, what they had to do and all that, so they really had no reason to stick around, right? Now we have to do our part of the investigation, and when we went in, the officers were like, no, you guys can't talk to them right now. We don't want them knowing who is who or who is involved. And the supervisor, he did not take it from them. He told them straight up how it is. So, sir, we have our policies we have to follow by. We have to do a VOV for a reason. We don't know who's the suspect. We don't know who is the victim either, okay? That's why we're interviewing them for a reason. So we can know who we can ban from coming here to visit him, or what kind of visitors he can have and not have. And Florissant PD, they were trying to power trip too, but our supervisor, he was not letting it happen.
No.
So he told them how it is and what's going to happen. Because like I said, once you step foot on that hospital, you fall under our jurisdiction for a reason.
Yeah, it's like some people just don't want to respect rules anymore. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Like another incident, not an incident I should say, but a fit patient we had brought in by Overland PD. The officer, he respected our...
That's good.
He respected our procedures 100%.
All right. Oh, man, it's almost been an hour since we talked, and it's 11:20. Yeah, man. Anyway, so we should wrap things up again. I'm tired. Thanks for another awesome podcast. That was fun. We talked a lot about a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We're going to wrap things up. I'm extremely tired. I got to go home and get some sleep. Anyway, this has been Cobra C Capsule. Trust I miss your smiles a lot. And this has been Brandon Kacar / at Aviation Expert 314. This has been another Let's Talk Media LLC audio podcast. Thank you all so much for who've listened in and have tuned in. If you need a marketer or advertiser or a martial arts coach, and if you live in the St. Louis area, please let me know. I love you all. Again, thank you for all checking in. I'll see you guys next time.